Welcome to Brandstorming. Guys, this is my first official episode, so if there's bloopers, if there's a whole lot of things I say wrong, it is what it is. It's my first episode, and I thought it was so appropriate to start the whole podcast journey with a episode about marketing trends we want to see in 2026. Why is this launching in Feb if I'm talking about 2026 marketing trends? We all know Jan's a shit show. Let's be honest. Jan is the month we take to kind of deal with our hangover of holiday, deal with what we are doing, setting our intentions, all that jazz. And let's be honest, the real work really starts now in Feb. So we are going to be talking about marketing trends. This is not just a podcast for businesses to follow on. This is a podcast also for creators to keep in mind. I'm also very, very specific about creating evergreen content that makes sense for a long period of time. So yes, it's 2026, but there's a couple of gems in this podcast that you might find valuable for you going forward. So make sure you're saving it and sharing it with all of your founders, friends, all of the people in your ecosystem that are creators that may find this content beneficial. For those of you that don't know, since it's my first episode, let's do a little introduction. My name is Storm Stocker, and I have been a marketing agency owner for the last 9 years. I've been a content creator for even longer than that, and my main goal is to help people find their true passion. I'm the kind of person that has a dream in my heart and flipping chases it. No matter what the cost may be, no matter what the fear may be, I have dealt with so much imposter syndrome over the last 9 years. And I've decided that, fuck imposter syndrome, we're doing it anyway. So that is just a little bit of insight into who I am and what I'm about. But the podcast is not about me. It's not about my business. It's not about my agency. It's about giving you real life information in terms of how you can translate that into your own career and into your own life. So take what you want out of it, leave what you don't want out of it. This is a safe space for you and a safe space for me to bring founders in and really get to the heart of their businesses. Cool. Let's get back to the point of the podcast and this episode. Marketing trends we're going to see in 2026. So I could sit here and I could give you a million statistics and facts about where things are going and how we need to manifest the algorithm and manifest viral videos, but none of that is practical. We don't know if a pandemic is around the corner. We don't know if Apple's going to stop making the devices that we know and love and put so much trust into. We don't know if global warming is finally going to just take us all out at the kneecaps. We don't know what's going to happen. But what we do know is where we are currently and what we need to look forward to from a marketing perspective to make sure that our businesses and our brands have impact for a long period of time. So as much as this is a trends-related podcast episode, it is also about how to show up realistically online in the year 2026. This is for the business owner, a creative or an influencer, or even just a content queen or somebody who's wanting to get part of that content journey. I know on your vision board is probably to post more TikToks more regularly. Okay, this podcast is for you. The first thing we're going to start talking about is AI. Yes, I know. I hear that word AI and AI being where we need to all be. And I want to roll my eyes too. Like I freak out at that idea of AI too. But I'm going to break it down for you guys in a really simple term. And I'm going to start off with a quote that says, it's actually a super sobering fact rather than a quote. Television took 22 years to reach 100 million users. It took Instagram 2 years to reach the same number. But the scariest, most sobering fact of all is ChatGPT hit 100 million users in just 2 months. No technology has ever been adopted that quickly in history ever before. So that tells you AI is where we need to go. ChatGPT is the future of how we're going to run business. And no, it doesn't mean ChatGPT does it all for you. It just means ChatGPT is able to translate what you're thinking into words that make sense and allow you to do things so much faster. The richest, most successful people in the world are using AI to do more in less time. The fact of the matter is that AI is going to make billionaires a lot faster than ever before. Millionaires are going to turn to billionaires because they've integrated this concept of AI into their content. So if you're a content creator or a business owner, my advice, lean in to AI. Don't run away from it. AI is your intern and not your replacement. I think this is the biggest fear for most people. Like, AI is going to come in and we're all going to lose our jobs and there's going to be no purpose for me. Guess what? Use it as your intern. Use it as your next assistant. Use it as your next hire. Don't use it as a fear metric which is going to make you lose your job. It's not something to be feared. It's something to be integrated into what you currently offer. People will make more money than ever before. And I think your main goal as a business owner listening to this, or even just a content creator listening to this, is spend the next 3 days looking for an AI assistant app. So whether that is the pro version of ChatGPT, whether it is Midjourney if you're a graphic designer, whether it is Claude, whether it is Gemini on Google, whatever it might be, find your assistant, set up a bot for yourself, and flip and invest in an AI course. Because if you do one thing to learn something about AI every single month, you will understand it better than your competitors. And that's the point. You want to get to know it as much as you can so that it doesn't take over and you are left behind. The other thing I want to say about AI, stop apologizing for using ChatGPT. I'm seeing this all the time. People are like, oh, I'm using chat, and they're so ashamed to admit it. And they're so ashamed to have that, to have the narrative that they're using ChatGPT. Stop apologizing for using it, because the truth is everyone and their auntie, yes, my mom who's in her 60s is using ChatGPT Pro, and she knows it all, right? Everyone is using it, but please, for the love of God, just remove your M dashes. Thanks. Okay, the next point is, when it comes to social media and posting on social media, the truth of the matter is, the deeper, the better. When posting on socials, you got to get deep. You got to get real. You've got to get authentic. That is going to be a trend that we're seeing more and more from founders, from thought leaders, from individuals. You're seeing more of this style of content, this podcast style content, where people are actually talking about their knowledge rather than just posting pretty pictures of themselves. We want to look at things like, last year there was a trend that was the public apology. Do you guys remember that? The public apology, where everyone was like, oh, POV, a public service announcement and an apology, and it was actually just them marketing their businesses. That literally went viral overnight. Everyone was doing it, to the point where creators were even saying, can we stop doing it? That is the one example I can give you in terms of going deeper. People want context. They want to know the tea. They want to know the drama. So they keep reading the post, and that's why the concept went so viral. Savability and shareability is gold right now. Not likes and not followers. We want things to go viral because people are sharing it with their friends because it is valuable. We want people to save our content because it is inspiring and they want to recreate the content. But the truth is, it stays in that saved folder and you become the content in their saved archives. That is what we want. If you can get 10 shares on your content, that is so much more important than getting likes. So understand that the metrics of effective content have changed. It's no longer chasing numbers, and it's more about chasing the actual engagement, which is saves and shares. I'm going to use my own content as an example of this, and I'm going to put the post somewhere on here. My amazing producer, Joseph, in the background, he's going to put something on here. But we did a post last year that says we fired a client. That post went absolutely mad. We had thousands of saves, thousands of shares. It was insane. Our following literally doubled overnight. And the only thing that I can put it down to is that we literally just spoke about the truths and the struggles of running a marketing agency. That is what people relate to. They want to know the realness, and they want to know the back end of stuff. They don't just want to know, the fun, pretty photo shoots that we do all the time. And I think that's a great example of going deeper. So go deeper rather than broader. Okay, the next point and the next trend I want to talk about is called the great unfollowing. It's going to sound crazy, and it doesn't mean that you're going to lose all your followers overnight. But a lot more people are going to shift off certain platforms and focus in on one platform. If you are limiting your screen time, which again is a massive trend we're going to start seeing, people are going to spend more time on one singular platform. If they only have an hour to spend on a screen based on their own needs, they are going to spend it, for example, on TikTok, which means they're not on Instagram anymore. So a lot of people are going to start unfollowing unnecessary accounts, but also unnecessary platforms. And to be honest with you, I think we're going to see a rise in one platform versus another. People are getting sick and tired of having to scroll between Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to get the information they're looking for. They're going to find a platform they prefer and spend more of their time on that platform. So you as a creator and as a business owner, my advice is pick a platform and go deeper. Pick one platform, make that your goal. Don't try be on every single platform all the time. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Storm, in order for me to run a business on Instagram, I need to be on Facebook because of Meta. Yes, I get it. We have to do that. Make Facebook the place where you're just resharing content so that your ads are effective and you can back your ads up on Facebook. But the other side of it is, if you want to create a brand with heart and story and founder-led content, which is obviously where things have been going for the last 2 years, I want to encourage you to focus down on TikTok. Keep Facebook and Instagram for your ads, for your advertising, for your hard selling, and use TikTok as your storytelling platform. The other thing is, with the great unfollowing, we want to also find a platform that brings us joy and inspiration. I am somebody that loves TikTok because I learn so much on TikTok. I learn a hack. I learn a cool recipe. Not that I cook at all. I know you're going to watch this, babe. And yes, you're getting the credit for all the cooking in the house. Okay, I don't cook. But there's so many things I learn on TikTok. That's why I love that platform so much more. And ironically, I love that platform so much more and the content I make is so much more organic. And yes, I had 3 videos go viral in the last 2 weeks because I just enjoy the platform more. So find one that brings you joy and really invest your time there. If you love Instagram, make that the platform of choice and create content according to the platform. If you don't know how to cut out one of your platforms and focus deeper on another platform, and again, I'm going back to deeper, even though this is called the great unfollowing, I'm going back to my previous point. I want to encourage you to cut out one platform from your life for 40 days. Cut it off. Delete Instagram off your phone if your focus area is TikTok, and actually go deeper and see what people are doing on TikTok to be able to create the content for that platform. Cut it out, see if it changes, and see if your growth changes. If you're starting to see results on TikTok, then you know it's a platform for you. And then what I would do is do the reverse of that. Remove TikTok, do Instagram, and see what you get out of that. It's all about trying things that work for you as a creator and trying things that work for your business and has conversion. Okay, the next point is, it doesn't really have a title. I don't actually know how to say this. But the bottom line is, bro marketing strategies are dead. If you're still using what's called bro marketing strategies, please eliminate that from your marketing plan for 2026. And what are bro marketing strategies, you might ask? We all know them. It's that fear-based strategy, the urgency, the deal is running out in 5 minutes. Book now and get it at $7 versus $700. It is all of that sense of urgency selling. It's that hard selling consistently that we want to move away from. Audiences are tired of being sold something. This even goes into paid media. Make sure your paid media ads are value adding, they are thought driven, they are content that people want to see, because your ad will naturally perform better. But stop with this overselling, over bro marketing, push, go, sign up now, link in bio. We're so sick of seeing that. Consumers go to, and when I talk consumers, I'm talking consumers of social media platforms. I'm talking the average person scrolling. We are going there to escape our lives. We are going there to switch off from the day. So when we get onto those platforms and we're seeing sign up, deal now, guess what? We're just clicking off the platform. No one's going to click on your sign up now. But if you're creating a video that gives them free value, free information, and then they go to your profile and see the link in your bio, best believe they will sign up to your services. You don't have to hard sell absolutely everything on socials anymore. We've moved away from that. You're dealing with a very educated social media consumer in 2026. We're not back in 2024, back in 2021 recovering from COVID, and now everyone's learning Instagram. We're in a different space now, and we're going to move with the times, and our marketing strategies have got to do the same too. The other thing when it comes to bro marketing is stop with this whole wait list and stalking people in emails. You've got mail. I sit with over 500 emails in my mailbox right now with you've got mail trying to upsell me to another version of a course I previously paid for. That's not helpful. But running a free masterclass on updates, I will be part of. So just be more conscious of how people are buying. Also remember, when you are a business owner and as a creator, we should be creating content we enjoy consuming. If you see your favorite content creator talking about a specific blush, for example, I'm going to use my industry as the example here. If you see your favorite content creator talking about a blush and you love her and you trust her opinion, you are going to go out and you are going to buy that blush, right? So when your business is creating content, you want to make that product desirable. You want to make content that is desirable and not just buy my blush, it's 5% off. If you go on and click the bio and sign up to my mailing list, you'll get your 5% off and you can have the blush. That means nothing to me. I can go buy a cheaper blush at Clicks. But if you're creating the story and you're creating the message and you're actually creating a relationship with your consumers, guess what? You'll sell out in blushes. So my next point is product sales. How to actually sell products on socials in 2026. This is the number one question I get asked all the time. This comes up in every single strategy meeting we have as an agency. It comes up in casual conversations with people. How do I sell more products on social media? And the truth of the matter is, whether you like to hear it or not, organic content driving sales is completely dead. There is no such thing anymore. You have to make sure you are investing in things like paid media. Storytelling and mood building is organic. That is what should be your organic content. That's what should be posted 3 times a week in a content plan, scheduled, planned out, thought out, according to your marketing calendar, according to your strategy, according to all those things. Absolutely, that content still needs to go out. But sales need to be generated by your paid media efforts. I can say this till I am blue in the face, but I have traditionally been an organic marketer for the last 7 years. Last year, we switched things up. We moved things over to paid because we need to get return on investment for our clients. ROI is only being seen on the paid side. Yes, organic is great. Running a giveaway and getting 100 followers is fantastic. Collaborating with your favorite content creator is amazing, and their content is so beautiful. Guess what? You're still making no sales. Paid media is the way you have to go if you have a product-based business and you need to sell products online. And here's the thing. If you cannot afford an agency, a marketing agency, and I think this is a very real reality for most small business owners, our fees as agencies are not cheap. We come with years of experience, we come with office spaces, we come with lights, we come with cameras, we come with assistants, we come with all those things. It is not cheap to always work with us. What I would encourage you to do is just hire an agency to help you set up your ads, show you how to do it, and then run with it yourself. The reality of organic content is it only goes to 5% of the people that are actually following you. So yes, you did a giveaway and you got 100 more followers, and now you're doing this organic video about, your beauty products, but guess what? Only 5% of those new followers are actually seeing your content. So instead of wasting your time and bashing your head against the wall in terms of why is no one buying from me on socials, get a paid media funnel in place, and you can start with as little as 2,000 Rand. And I think this is the biggest illusion in this industry, and this is what frustrates me beyond belief, is agencies are charging thousands in management fees, and your actual money going into the ad doesn't have to be as much. There are agencies that can help you do the setup and tell you how to do it conservatively. So yes, you put $2,000 in and you get $4,000 out in sales. That is a great return on investment. You don't have to put 20, 30, 40, 50,000 Rand in and basically sink your financial goals into one ad hoping for the best. I am going to say this with all the love in the world, but Meta is a business. It is not a casual friend. It is not an escape mechanism for you to just head over to that platform and, blow off some of your personal steam. Meta is a business. So yes, if you put money into Meta, more people are going to see your ads. They're going to funnel through to your website and they're going to buy from you. Meta is a business and we need to keep remembering that. If you don't know what Meta is the main overarching company that owns platforms like Instagram and Facebook. Meta is the metric where you run ads through. They are the people you pay for other people to see your advertising, to put it in layman's terms. And if you have absolutely no money for a marketing agency, if you have no money to hire the people with the skills on all these things I'm telling you about, my advice is, if you want to go organic and keep it organic purely because you don't have the budget, my advice would be go deep on TikTok. Create TikToks of absolutely everything you do in your process, from your labeling design to your packaging sourcing to your next service offering that you're going to be launching. Go deeper on TikTok. It is so possible. As I mentioned earlier, I have, over my lifespan on TikTok, which is only about 3 years, I have at least 10 videos that have gone completely viral. I'm sitting on 6,000 followers. And yes, it's really small in relation to my other following on other platforms. However, it is possible to go viral on TikTok. And my advice would be, if you've got no budget and all you can do is organic content in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your bathroom, in front of your laptop, go deep on TikTok, because that is where people are actually going to see you without you having to pump thousands of rands behind what you're trying to say. The next trend we're going to start seeing a lot more is introverted entrepreneurial-led content. And what I mean is, you can be profitable on social media if you are an introverted entrepreneur. The idea of being extroverted no longer means sales and connections with clients. I've never had this problem. I am like an extroverted extrovert. My tank gets filled by being around other people. I love being at networking events. I love talking to people. I love connecting. I literally make friends with our neighbor just because they're our neighbor, and you never know when you need something from the neighbor. Like that is the person that I am. But for so many founders I work with, the thought of actually going to a networking event or actually putting themselves in front of a camera drives them crazy. They get hives, they start hyperventilating. Most people hate it. And the truth of the matter is, you don't have to be this extroverted person to be able to create content or to just show up in these networking environments. We have been brainwashed to think that extroverted people are the only ones that are good at sales, but it is not true. There are ways to build within your personal energy source. Build with your energy and not against it. If you only have energy to create reels on Canva and then post them on socials, that's what your content needs to look like. If you are scared to put yourself in a studio with lights, with cameras, with producers like I am right now, you don't have to do that. You could just pick up your phone and create. So there's also so much to be said about faceless content. We're seeing it. We're seeing the conversion rates. We're seeing people growing without actually putting their face on socials. So do some research about faceless content, because if you're not an extroverted extrovert, I know how crippling everything I'm saying in this podcast could feel for you. And my next piece of advice for if you are this person, my advice would be invest in a coach. You might not be able to invest in an agency, but you may be able to invest in a coach who can just help you get out of your own way and create content that feels natural to you. Again, build from within your energy source and not against it. I think that's a mistake a lot of us make. Society tells us we need to post on social media 3 times a week. So what do? We spend an entire day freaking out about the fact that we haven't posted on social media instead of just posting something. And my advice is always going to be start messy, post messy. You will refine it in time. Once you've got conversion and you get excitement and you get comfortable with the platform, you will start to create those more cohesive, beautiful pieces of content. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, freaking go onto my Instagram. By the way, my Instagram handle is Taken by Storm. Type in Taken by Storm's Instagram and the first account that comes up. Go down, scroll down, look at the first content I posted. God, it was horrific compared to what I'm posting now. But we all have to start somewhere. And if your starting point looks messy, flipping post it, because let me tell you, people are going to buy into the messy. That's what's more relatable than the perfectly well thought out, well refined. I actually want to reference my best friend in this point. So Alessia, my best friend, she's also a brand strategist at TBS Marketing. She's incredible, by the way. All the branding you see on this podcast, that's all Alessia. And she works within her business and within her ecosystem according to what her energy source is about. So she works better, for example, on a Saturday and Sunday. That's where she is productive from an energetic perspective. So guess what? She takes off a Wednesday and sometimes a Thursday, or a Monday and sometimes a Friday. She's very open about taking a Monday slower. We're so sick and tired of being stuck in the norms of when you're supposed to work. She also creates content within her energy source. She loves getting ready in the morning, popping onto her stories and getting ready with the people that follow her. If that is where you find yourself and how that is, if that is the way that you're able to show up authentically for your platform, then that's what you've got to do. And again, if you are an introverted person, my advice to you is instead of going online and waffling, I would encourage you to say something and say it with your chest. If it moves you as an individual, it will move somebody that is following you. Okay, another massive trend we're going to start seeing, and we started seeing it on the back end of 2025. Well, actually the most of 2025, but I think in 2026, it's going to be a lot more relevant. And I touched on it before, but I really want to deep dive into it. And this is being searchable versus being likable. Viral is a moment in time, but searchable is more evergreen. We want to create content that is evergreen. You're going to trade sociable for searchable. The reality is ChatGPT is evolving. We are now going to be able to shop through ChatGPT. If you type into ChatGPT, female-led founder with a podcast featuring different founders, I want to be the person that comes up. So I need to make sure that everything I do on socials is searchable and people can actually reach me through AI platforms, through the search bar, through the homepage, through Google. You want to be searchable so your ideal clients and your ideal customers can actually find you. So make sure that your content is searchable and you're looking for that searchability factor rather than just getting likes. Because let me tell you, I have not made one single rand from a video that went viral. What I have made money from is people looking for my services and me being able to meet them where they're at. Also remember, when it comes to searchability versus likability, you are not creating for someone now. You're not creating for the current client you have. You are creating for the future client that's going to find you on social media and then come into your ecosystem. You're creating for your future clients. So you want to start future-proofing your content and making sure it is evergreen. So yes, this piece of advice that I'm giving you is centered around 2026 trends. Yes, it is. But a lot of what I'm saying and what I'm going to take out of this podcast and turn into reels is evergreen, because a lot of this is going to stay true for a longer period of time than just the beginning of 2026. So when you are creating content, make sure that it is searchable. Make sure that people can relate back and it is evergreen to an element where if somebody's looking at it 10 months from now, it's still relevant rather than it being relevant for the current moment in time. And then when it comes to searchability and savability, because I feel like being searchable is also about being able to allow people to save your content, right? So you want to serve first. This is something that has always been so hard for me as a founder, but it is always something that has worked in my favor in terms of growing the business. And I'm going to give you some tangible facts here. And yes, I'm opening myself up to massive scrutiny. At the beginning of last year, we were running a 50,000 to 100,000 Rand business a year. Like, we were tiny. We were nowhere in the greater scheme of things. We ended last year on over R1 million business, and we grew the team and we did so much. And the reason why we were able to grow in that way is I believe in this next concept that I'm going to teach you guys about, and that is called serve first. You want to do shit for free. You want to say yes to clients. And yes, you've got to do it within your energetic source. If you are completely burnt out and you have no time, please don't be saying yes to free stuff. But what you want to do in terms of content creation is serve first. So you want to give away free information. You want to give away free skills. You want to give away things that are like free resources. Basically, this entire podcast is me giving you away free information and free resources the entire time. I'm not going to make a rand from this podcast. In fact, this podcast has cost me money. But what I do want is for you to take something I've said, run with it, or take something I've said in this podcast and say, flip, that's the agency we need to hire. That's the metric here. My metric is teaching you and in turn getting business out of this. It's not to make money from this actual piece of content that's going out. So you want to give away free information. You want to educate people, teach people, and trust me, the algorithm will do the rest, because if one person shares it, another person saves it, guess what? Instagram's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is great content. I'm going to keep sharing it to people. Because guess what? When I'm sitting listening to something that actually helps me, I'm going to share it with a friend and it will help them too. I want to actually reference one of my idols here, and that is Mel Robbins. I think for any podcaster, they're obsessed with Mel Robbins, right? Beginning of the year, Mel Robbins did a podcast. I can't remember the title of the podcast. Can you remember what the title of the podcast was? About the goal setting, Anyway, I will find it. I will link it in the caption down below. But Mel Robbins did a podcast all about remembering what 2024 or 2025 was in order to move forward in 2026. It was all about like mindset moving into a new year, right? I remember sharing that podcast with the people that work for me. I remember sharing the podcast with my mom. I remember sharing the podcast with some clients. And it is so funny because my mom then shared it with everyone in her business and everyone did the exercise. What does that tell you? Mel Robbins, yes, you're fantastic and we all want to hear from you. But what it tells you is that I gained something from that podcast. I gained value from that podcast and I felt the need to share it with so many people. I probably got 100 people listening to that one episode. Guess what? That episode is going to go super viral because I'm not the only one sharing it. Other people are sharing it. And that is the whole point. She gave away free information, amazing information, and I felt the need to share it with people because it was going to help them in their journey. And that is what your content needs to start doing. It needs to be shareable, it needs to be savable, and forget about the likes. The likes are just fluff and nice to haves. Okay, the next trend we're going to see is people speaking out about burnout, people speaking out about health, wellness, and needing to prioritize themselves. Again, we saw this last year, but I think we're going to see it a lot more. And this is more some tips that I can give you in terms of how you can jump on the bandwagon with regards to sharing content about rest, about recovery, about things that are not just business. So what I've called this section is burnout is not sexy. It is not. I've been there twice. I've been in hospital multiple times for burnout, and I think it is fundamentally part of being an entrepreneur. What we're trying to do every day, pay bills, fight for our lives, and not burn out, right? So rest is the real revolution. It is not a luxury. I encourage you as a founder to document your rest. As much as you are documenting your success, you need to document your rest, because the more founders that are prioritizing rest, the more we normalize how important rest truly is. Yes, 2 weeks ago, I was on a tropical island writing the script. I was resting, I was thinking, but I gave myself the opportunity to catch up with myself and be calm and present in this moment right now that I'm speaking to the camera and my 2 producers in the room. But yes, Rest is the real revolution. Rest is not a luxury, and we need to start documenting content that highlights that. Yes, it's a social trend. Less screen time is going to become a part of everyone's lives. So we need to make sure that the content we're putting out there is creating more meaningful connections. So if you have to create a video talking about how you didn't burn out in 2025, trust me, if I see that piece of content, it resonates with me, I'm going to share it with the 25 clients and the 5 team members I have so that they can do the same things and they can benefit. Again, shareability, savability. See how we're building some blocks in this podcast? We're just like, building the concepts on top of each other. When we talk about burnout and when we talk about rest being the real revolution, I want to just pose this to you. I know you, the individual watching this, wasted at least 4 hours on TikTok in the last few days. You're not special, babe. We've all done it. We've all done it. Do you even remember what you watched? Because you probably didn't. You probably don't remember what the hell you watched in the 4 hours you'll never get back from your life. But if you had to watch content that was extremely meaningful, where you learned something, where you saved it, where you shared it with somebody else, that's the content you remember. So I'm taking it back to my previous point again. But if you are limiting your screen time and you are trying to make burnout not a part of your reality and you're trying to rest more, I want to encourage you to spend less time on social media consuming content and more time on a pen and paper, conceptualizing what your personal content is going to look like, rather than just consuming everyone else's. The reality on this topic of rest is we're going to see more people taking digital detoxes. We are going to see more time off socials, and we're going to see more brands doing in-person events, in-person activations. I'm not the only founder that's going to launch a podcast this year. I'm pretty sure most of the founders you may find are going to launch things like this, is because we're trying to take the conversation off the scroll hole and actually create something meaningful. And this is a way in which we can do it in that format. So digital detoxes and less time on screens is definitely going to be a trend in 2026. And we can either resist it or we can get involved with it. And my advice is get involved with it. The next trend, and this has been a trend forever, but it is a trend that I've only really harnessed in on and done a lot of research in recently, and that is email marketing is king. I know that it sounds ridiculous and people are like, oh my gosh, email marketing, that's so boring. But the truth of the matter is that if you have to lose your entire social media account tomorrow, you get hacked, it gets, stolen, or you lose all your followers, or there's a glitch in the system and for some reason you can never log back into your own social accounts, you want to make sure that you have subscribers on your mailing list that you can directly contact. You are as strong as the people that buy from you. So make sure you're getting people onto a mailing list. And now I'm not saying go sign up here, do this, do that, the next thing. You actually want to create meaningful connections with people via email. So that is where you type out your whole message and message from the founder, and when people start to really buy into your story. So you want to take a lot of this content creation and a lot of this authentic storytelling and putting it into an email version of that. Your email list is your VIP list. And if you have not integrated email marketing into your strategies for 2026, I highly recommend that you do, because we're seeing that growth month on month on month when it comes to online purchasing, when it comes to relatability, when it comes to connection. We're seeing it grow more and more and more. And honestly, when I was doing the research for this podcast, I thought email marketing was dying, but actually it's just getting more and more and more important for brands to be part of email marketing. I'm going to use one of my clients as a reference here, and I'm not going to mention the name, but you are going to be seeing an episode with the brand quite shortly. But they are a brand that has invested huge money into paid media this year. They've also invested a lot of money into their email marketing system. We are seeing more sales coming through from the email marketing subscribers than we are from paid media efforts. And that says a lot about where the network is at. It says a lot about how people are shopping and how people are buying. I know for a fact that when I get that deco for an email in my mailbox that says there's a 20% off sale, I head straight to that site and I check out with all the things that are in my cart. Guess why? Because I'm looking for a good, affordable option my chair right here, right now. I'm looking for an affordable option of furniture for an office that I'm busy furnishing. So when I see the email, I click straight in and I make a purchase. I don't even follow them on Instagram, but I saw their email, and that makes the difference. Okay. The last trend I want to touch on, and as I said at the beginning of this podcast, I could go on for days about stats and algorithms and trends. But for me, the things I've touched on are the most tangible and relatable, and you can really start implementing into your lives and your businesses right now. The last topic, and this is something we're going to be seeing a lot on social media, apart from social media, in people's lives, and this is the concept of multiple streams of income. We want to make sure our own businesses have multiple streams of income. So maybe your stream of income is going to be selling your product online. Then another stream of income is going to come from offering a course on how to create the product that you're making. Another stream of income is going to be you, the founder's social media content, and creating content there and actually charging other brands to feature on your page. We need to look at multiple streams of income within one business. And for individuals, content creators, podcasters, videographers, photographers, marketers like me, we all need multiple streams of income because things are just going to keep getting more expensive. You want to look at retainers, multiple retainers. You want to look at removing the chaos and the fear around money in your life. That is the one thing that set me free in 2025 last year, and it's setting me free moving into 2026 is I'm not scared of money. I'm not scared to spend money. I'm not scared to make money. I am not scared of the money in my bank account. I'm not scared of the money I owe the bank. I'm not scared of money. And relinquishing your fear of money is so important. If you realize that your biggest commodity in this world is skill and time, you can always make more money. So we're going to start seeing a lot more people on social media talking about their side hustles. I don't think those tunnies talking about their blueprint on TikTok, I don't think that that's going anywhere. I think people are going to start doing more of that. And I think if you have a business that other people can earn a passive income from, that is something you really need to tap into because people are going to start looking for multiple streams of income more and more and more. And I'm also not saying here that you need to join Avon if you're looking for another way to make money. I'm not saying you need to go into farming if you're a photographer, okay? What I am saying is if you are a hairdresser, you need to look at adding things like a product line. You need to look at doing a subscription service with your email marketing, and basically people pay X amounts of money every month, then every 3 months they come in for their 10,000 Rand treatment. I'm talking about blow dry vouchers. I'm talking about doing things and exclusive offers that can be marketed through your socials that can bring different elements of income into your business. It's not just people phoning, booking an appointment and coming for their hair. There's different ways in which they can spend their money with you and keep their money with you. The biggest problem that hairdressers have, and I'm just using hairdressers as an example, is that the cost of service is so high. So here's some free information for all of you. If the cost of service is 5,000 Rand and your client is only coming in every 5 months, what if you charged her 1,000 Rand a month and offered her on a subscription basis or a retainer basis? She pays 1,000 Rand a month. Every 3 months, she comes in for her treatments. And it's a year's contract. She pays 1,000 Rand for a year. And in that year, she gets X amount of treatments. That's feasible for people's budgets. That's feasible to put money aside. It's this treatments, I only need a color, but next treatments, I'll have my cut and I'll have my treatments done. And that's what we need to start looking at, is how do we make the economy work for our customers, and how do we in turn make more money from the services we're making, and how do we make our money more sustainable? So side hustles and bringing new services into your business that can make you more money, I think is going to be a trend on social media, but I think should be a trend in business ownership. I think we all need to look at multiple ways to earn. And I'll give you guys insight in terms of the multiple streams of income I have in my business. So we make money on retainers from clients because we manage their socials on a monthly basis. We make money on content production. We have a lot of clients that just come to us for shoots, just come to us for either high-end shoots or come to us for social grade shoots. How we're going to start making money is offering podcast spaces to clients, which is another income generating platform. We then make money on distributing beauty brands into retailers. So we take your beauty brand and take it into retailers, and that is based on retainer. It's also based on commission. So if we get a big deal, we make commission on that. We offer paid media services. That is a whole different service offering that we have. We also offer it at a very reduced rate, and we take a percentage of your return on investment. So that's another way we make money. So in my little agency and in my little business, I've got about 10 different ways that we can make money to help feed our bottom line. And that is the way in which we create a sustainable business. And I do think that that is a trend we're going to start seeing more and more and more. So you better jump on that bandwagon. Okay, that brings me to the end of my very first podcast episode. I want to leave you with a little thought and something. And I think in all my episodes going forward, I'm always going to leave you with a nugget of information that kind of sums up the whole episode. It is not about building a huge brand on social media. It's not about having a brand with millions and millions of followers. It's about building a brand that mimics the way we as individuals show up in the world. We want to create brands and businesses that help other people feel good about themselves. We want to add value to other people's lives. We want to give away free information into the universe so that the universe provides for you and it comes back tenfold. I'm not getting all woo-woo. This is not a universe kind of conversation we're having here, but it is true, and manifestation does work, and I'm a big believer in that. And if you want me to talk about manifestation, I'll do a whole episode on it. But we want to serve first. It has always been my business motto, and I completely stand by it, that you want to serve first, do things for free first, and that is exactly where the magic is. So take it, leave it, do what you want from it. But if you found any value in this, I really do encourage you to share this with a friend who might see the same value. If you are a business owner feeling lost, if you are a founder that's needing more advice and more inspiration, stick around on this podcast, because this is just the first episode of a very, very, very long journey together. This was Brandstorming. I am Storm. Thank you for listening to my first episode. So if you're watching this on YouTube, which you probably are, please hit that subscribe button. It allows me to make more videos like this, and it allows me to attract the right people onto the podcast that we want to interview, right? So your support means the absolute world to me. I am nothing, my business is nothing without the people that consume our content. So please subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.